So we're going to talk about soil texture today. And when we look at a soil, we're talking about something that has a surface horizon, a subsurface horizon. And as we go down through the profile, you can basically see that we're changing in colors. We're changing in some structures. And we're also changing in texture. And textures basically will have silt loams or loams at the top. And as we come through, we pick up clay, and we have more clays down here. So we usually have loams at the top and a clay loam at the bottom. Or we have a silt loam at the top, and we have a silty clay loam towards the bottom. So we're going to try to determine what the texture is of this soil. And we're going to be working actually with this one. But in order to do that, we have to know what texture really is. And so we know that texture is sand and silt and clay. So you have in front of you basically some sand and some silt, and I have a clay ball over here. And we're going to talk about silt first, and we're going to put that in a texture triangle. You're used to seeing a texture triangle with all 12 segments, and that gets kind of complicated for students to work with. So let's break it down into 3 components. We start with a loam, because a loam is a mixture of sand and silt and clay. And then we're going to first talk about silt. And we have it dry so that you can really feel the properties. And when we rub it between our fingers and thumb, how does it feel? And some answers you might be giving me are, it feels like powder. It feels soft. It feels smooth. And those are all good examples and modifiers for silt. One thing about silt, it is soft and smooth. Silt is the most easily eroded of all the soil components. It's just the right texture, and it's easily eroded by wind. We'll just do it again, just so you know to watch. So it's very easily eroded by wind and by water, okay? And so silt is basically the part that gives the soil its fluff and so forth. And so we say powder, soft, smooth, and it's also fine. Okay, so now let's take a look at the sand, and we're going to basically put sand between thumb and fingers. And how does sand feel? And say it feels bumpy. Well, it feels sandy, but how does sand feel? We need modifiers for that. So is it fine? No, it's coarse. And is it smooth? No, we said it's bumpy. Maybe a better word is gritty. And when we talk about grit, we're talking about the size of that sand particle. And when we make sandpaper, we actually take a piece of paper, put glue on it, and we put different sizes of sands on it. That's the grit size. And so we basically have sand right here. So we have silt and we have sand. And sand basically gives us our larger pore sizes, and it also allows for water to move down through the soil easily and so forth. And so when we're talking sand, we're talking about that gritty component, the one that you can really feel. And then what's the third part? And the third part is clay. Okay. So we felt the silt, we felt the sand. Now we're going to feel the clay. The clay we're going to feel wet, and that's because the clay is the part of the soil, the mineral part, that holds onto the water. And it feels slippery, it feels slimy, it feels gooey, it's wet, so it's watery, and it's very easy to move our thumb and fingers across each other. When we're talking about the clay, we're talking about the gooey part. We're talking about the amount of clay that you would find basically in like a clay loam, or if you had a clay. So the clay holds onto the water, The silt is basically what gives us the softness. Of the soil. And then the sand is what gives us the pore size, our larger pore sizes. For water to easily move through. So when we have them all mixed together, we have a loam. So when you texture, you want to have a ball that fits nicely in your hand. If you have larger hands, then you're thinking about a golf ball size. And if you have smaller hands like mine, then you're talking about something that's maybe ping pong ball size or maybe even a little smaller. And so these two soil samples basically came from here and from here. And we're going to see what the textures of this soil are. So I'm actually going to start with the one in the subsurface in our B horizon. And soils basically have their alphabet. They have an A and they have a B, and the parent material then is the C horizon. So we're going to be working first in the B horizon, and that's because it has more clay in it and it will stick together better. So we're going to hold it between two fingers and a thumb. And we're going to press and scoot. So it's a press and scoot, and press and scoot. When you get this little fat thing over here, you just kind of put it over and you continue with your ribbon, trying to get it to form that ribbon. This forms a nice ribbon and it's pretty sturdy. I can get kind of physical with it and it doesn't break up. And that tells me that I have quite a bit of clay in it. And so I'm working somewhere up in here. And I put it back together. I know that I have a clay loam, and a clay loam is given just because as we go in this direction, we increase our clay content. As we come in this direction on a texture triangle, we're increasing our sand. And as we come down in this direction, we're increasing our silt. And so when we're basically coming up, when we have everything together, we have a loam. If we add just a little bit more clay, then we come up here, we've added this, and now we would have a clay loam of some sort. So when we push this between our thumb and fingers, we've already decided that we've got quite a bit of clay in this. And so we've moved up the texture triangle. And we know that we have some kind of a clay loam. Now we have to decide, do I want to put a modifier on it? Do I need to use sand or do I need to use silt? If I say I definitely feel some grit, and let me put it back together in my circle. And there's a little bit in there, but I really have to kind of, well, yes, I would say there definitely is some grit. So since there's some grit, we're just going to leave it in the center and we're going to call it a silt loam or a clay loam. If we had felt it to be very, very soft and it's smooth in connection with the length of our ribbon, then we would say that we had a silt loam. If you want to use the sandy modifier, you have to say more than 50% or more than half of what I have right here in my hand is sand, to use the sandy modifier and say it's a sandy clay loam. Okay? So let's try. We know that we have a clay loam here in the bottom. And actually, as we look at this, we can see that there are some stones and so forth. And it does look to have a little bit of a sandy appearance. So that would make sense that it has some grit, but it's not half sand. So this is my surface horizon or my A horizon. And holding it between my thumb and finger. And notice that I'm having a hard time getting my ribbon to form. And that's because there isn't much clay in it. If I press it over a little bit more, I can get about the same size, but if I move it, it wants to break. So this tells us that we're down in this area, we're in this loam category, and not much stiffness. It doesn't hold together well. It has a fragile ribbon. And so we have a loam. And then we feel for that sand again, for that grit. And I don't feel the grit in this one. And so we would add the sand or the silting modifier to this. So this is a silt loam. So we try pressing it together and it gives us a ribbon. Maybe we can get about an inch, maybe an inch and a half. And then it gets pretty fragile and I have to really pinch it to keep it together. And so this is a loam ribbon. And because I don't feel hardly any grit in there at all, I have to really think, yeah, there might be one or two pieces in there, but it's really soft and smooth. And so we're going to call it a silt loam. So we just by texture by feel, we have a nice long ribbon. It has a little bit of grit to it. So we're going to leave it in the center of the triangle. And this is going to be a clay loam. And then I have in my surface horizon, working on my ribbon. I can get it to form a ribbon, but it's falling off a lot. And so I have a loam, but it doesn't have that grit to it. And so this is a silt loam. So we're going to talk about the particle size of our sand. And we're going to start by comparing it to our clay. And if we would take a single clay particle, and I asked you if you could feel any grit in that, and you said no. And you can't feel any grit in it because a particle of clay, if I were to blow it up, no, we're not talking about the actual clay particle, I'm going to blow it up, and I have this tack, and the very point of this tack or this pin would be our clay size. So our silt size, if we blow it up, it would be the same size as a golf ball. And I know in a lot of in your textbooks and so forth, it'll say, how big then would your sand particle be? They'll use a beach ball or something. And I don't like that because a beach ball, you're thinking, oh, it's light. It's got a lot of air in it. It's a lot more practical to use a bowling ball because it would have about the same density. And it's going to be about the right size, and it's going to be extremely heavy. When you have a clay particle, they even have little micropores within this, which even blows my mind to think that something this small can have holes in it. And when we're looking at this clay, it can actually have that. So sand particle will be the size of the bowling ball. Silt particle will be the size of a golf ball, and a clay particle will be the size of the point of this pin if they're all three blown up in the same ratio. This is a very nice field exercise to do. And as a soil scientist, when I'm out in the field, and actually a lot of our students, as soon as they get this, they like to feel that soil. And so when you're out walking the next time, if you see a bare piece of some soil, get down, pick it up, and see if you can texture it out and figure out what that texture is. Be a field scientist.